Now, both running. So yeah, this is a little rough and ready. I only received this piece of hardware today, and I thought I'd do a video about my favourite bits and bobs of it preset wise. This is the Arturia Microfreak. Apologies for the hum on this video. I have tapped straight into the headphone output of this piece of kit, and for some reason there's a lot of hum floating around, and I'm not quite sure why, so we're just going to have to live with it and do what we can. This is based around digital oscillators and analog filters and about 10 different forms of synthesis, which all show up in the presets in this video. The keyboard down here is not moving, it's a touch keyboard. So this is what the first preset chord sounds like. And it works better. It works better if I hit a chord, and it will play through as a little sequence like that. The display up here, which has got the presets next to it, yeah, I'm trying to see things and touch things at the same time. If you alter stuff like resonance, it will come up as a little waveform here. So you sort of, oh, the hum's gone, amazing. So you can sort of see what you're doing. So, for example, and I'm having to do this, hold the mic with one hand and press keys and turn knobs with the other hand. So this may or may not all work, but that's a sequence playing around the chord of C. If I hold that, with another hand I can alter resonance and so you can muck around with resonance and cut off whilst you're playing. And more importantly, in an educational vein for pure novices like me, you can actually see what you're doing to the sound with this display, and also the patch you're playing is displayed on the left hand side, and it tells you which form of synthesis you're using, what timbre you're using, what the cutoff is set to, and the cutoff is altering the envelope at this point, for example. So that's preset 1. I went through all 60 odd presets today, and I came up with about 40 odd that are my favourites and are worth showing off. So I'm just going to whip through those as quickly as possible to give you some idea of what this thing's capable of. So that was chords. As I say, I've mucked around with the resonance there, but the default of it is like that. The next one, and you muck around with the presets with this little knob at the top, is called Fade In, Freaks, and sounds like this. I particularly like this because I adore bass sounds from synths. And that's quite nice. So, yeah, I'm going to whip through these as quickly as possible so this video does not last forever. The next one I rather liked was preset 4, Analog Chaser. This is rather fun. One of the rather nice things this has got built into it is its ability to randomly rework what you're playing. There's something called spice, and there's something else called dice. So if I hold down a single key and then hit dice, there you go. Doing some fairly subtle things, but I think you can sort of hear what it's doing. So that is preset 4 Analog Chaser. We're going to whiz through these as quickly as possible so the video's not too long. This is called Minor Pad. It's very 8-bit. And there's the hum again. I quite like the glide between notes on that one. So next we've got something called Fight, which in my notes here I described simply as very analog. It's very early 1970s John Pertwee Doctor Who. It's also monophonic, even though the synthesizer itself is poly from what I can tell. So next up is preset 8. This one is called Jobs for Rhythm and is, I've written in my notes, a very cool bass line. Probably push this down in octave a bit. And as you can hear, it's very sort of thumpy and quite nicely analog. Next up is something called Fat Moves. I didn't write any notes for this one. I don't think I needed to, it's quite a nice little sequence here. So that's Fat Moves. Then I whip through to Tabase. I wrote down next to this simply the words 8-bit game tune. So put in the comments which 8-bit computer game you think this sounds like, because it really rings bells with me. So that's Tabase, preset 11. You may need your reading glasses on with this thing. The screen on it is rather small. This is Luna 5. I just described this as a cool sequence. Which I guess I can play a chord with. Oh, I see, there's a thing here. Instead of having a pitch bend wheel, you've got a pitch bend ribbon. So I can go all the way up there, all with one hand, and then come all the way down there. Which is rather fun. But yeah, that's quite fascinating. That's Luna 5. Then we'll whip forward. This is Snitch 5. I've written down Third Doctor music. This is all in fifths. It's very John Pertwee Doctor Who music. So yeah, that is Snitch 5. Where are we? We're now up to preset 16. This is kick bass, which I described as an interesting synth bass and zappy. So that's that. Then we have on 18 Evo Arp. Which is another quite interesting little loop sequence. Then up on 20 we've got Hold Riser. I've written down hold keys, it builds. You get the general idea. We go over the page. Preset 22. Qubit Brass. Builds, hold a key down. So that's quite nice. Up onto preset 23, which is called simply No Sleep. I've written use the dice function. This is very sort of early 1980s synth sound here. Well, it's definitely multi-timbral because I'm now playing over it. And it's held by the dice function. So that's quite fun. I'm trying to get the damn dice function to turn off. So this is No Sleep. Next one I've written down is Metallic Talk, which is weird as anything. It's a voice synthesizer. Oh, hang on a minute. That doesn't like it. That's not like it at all. Where's Metallic Talk? There it is. 26. I'd written it down wrong somehow. So this is Metallic Talk. So yeah, someone had clearly worked out the maths involved in the palette making certain sounds to come up with that. So then we jump up to 29. This is called Metallic C. I've written simply, it's calming noise. Kinda does what it says on the tin, really, doesn't it now? Then we jump up to 35. This is Drum Grit Sequence. I've written play a chord. And this is sort of a little percussion loop here. And then we jump up to 37, which is called simply Cult, and I've written the words creepy 8-bit sound. oddly childlike. But equally reminds me of Monsters in Woods. Then we're jumping up to Stab 1, which I've written down is very analog sounding. Let's just knock this down in pitch a bit. There's a great YouTuber out there called Heinbach. I recommend you listen, watch his videos. As Heinbach always says, the best speed is half speed. And then we got to 39, which is simply called the unstable. I've written down play a chord. Again, it's a bit sort of voice-like. Then we jump up to 43 for Parallax, which is a sort of loop thing. Then we reach one of my favourites, because I love acid house sounds, and this is called Prospero. I just love the fact that you have the ability to make a sound wet using resonance. It's wonderful. So let's go up to 46, grimy bit. This, I've also written down 8-bit sounding. So now we'll go to 50, which is hurried. So that's hurried, and then we got to 51. Yes, 51, which is sausage bass. I've written down, this is very fat. That's as low as this will play. Sausage bass up on preset 54. Then if we jump all the way up to preset 61, this is something that speaks for itself. It's called Afterburner. Basically we're talking Afterburner rocket sounds here. I do like the aftertouch on that one. So yeah, that's Afterburner. Then there's just a few more to cover. There's 63, which has the rather strange name of VT, but it makes sense when you hear it, because I've written down sci-fi sound. Very random sounding, like a sort of computer going along. Next up to 64. This is Saiyan 2, which I've written down one word to describe this. Zappy. It's actually better at lower octaves, the sound. But we'll try it really high. So that's Saiyan 2. Then we go up to 65, which is Gens 1. I've written down, play this in a low octave. So yeah, that's Gens 1. And the final one is here. And it's called Init. And the only word of description I have written for this sound is weird. Now, this video is about to get even longer because I've only been using the default digital oscillator here, which is well, actually each sound has got a different assignation amongst the digital oscillators. So this is coming through the modal oscillator. We'll finish this video by going through the one preset and just feeding different oscillators through it. So this is Prosper on modal, but you can also feed Prosper through noise. Then you can feed Prosper through, what's this? I don't know what this one is. I just get a warning signal coming up saying, warning, mic needed, and I can't work out where to attach a microphone to this synth. It doesn't have anything on the inputs called mic. So that's back on modal again. Then you can feed it through speech. It starts doing really weird stuff. So this is chords. So we're getting a chord envelope through each and every. Then we get formant. Then we get an FM. Then we can feed it through a wave shaper. And then we've got a virtual analog here. Got something called a car plus signal. This is an altering harmonic. And then we're going through a wavetable type of sound. We've got a super wave here. Basic waves. I'm trying to get back to where I was. I was on performance, I think. Or modal. Modal. Yeah, modal was the default for that one, I think. So yeah, this thing is incredibly flexible. You've got all those presets, over 60 presets. Each preset you can feed through a different form of synthesis, and then you can alter your settings to change that patch. So it's an incredibly flexible beast. Cost full price about 300. I got mine for just over 2. It's a lot of fun to noodle around with, particularly if, like me, you're not massively musical, but you just want to be able to get synths to do incredibly interesting things and sort of learn about what you're doing while you're doing it. So I am here somewhere. Hello. So yeah, sorry about the camera angle. I was trying to show off the keyboard rather than show off me. So bye bye, and thanks for watching.